Hello students, welcome to the second lecture on the performance of the vehicle. We will move forward from the resistance to the vehicle motion which we already saw in the last lecture. In this lecture we will start with the topic of tractive effort and traction. In that the force available at the contact between the drive wheel tires and the road surface is called as the tractive effort. And the ability of the drive wheels to transmit this effort without slipping is known as the traction. So, firstly, the tractive effort is the effort required to keep the vehicle in running condition or even to start the vehicle from the standstill condition or we can say steady condition. The starting tractive effort is the effort that can be generated at the standstill condition, and the value of the tracting effort while we are starting the vehicle will always be the maximum, which means that when we are starting the vehicle from the steady condition or from the idle condition, then we will require the maximum power to start the motion of the vehicle, because at that time the vehicle will have the maximum resistance to the motion of the vehicle, so that the maximum tractive effort will be generated at the starting or at the standstill condition of the vehicle. The continuous tractive effort is the effort that can be maintained indefinitely, which means we can maintain the tractive effort for any given time, as the distinct from the higher tractive effort that can be maintained for the limited period of time, which means that maximum tractive effort which is used for the starting of the vehicle, that we can only generate for the limited time. If we try to generate tractive effort for the longer time than usual, then vehicle engine will overheat and this will create the problem in the vehicle. Tractive effort is inversely proportional to the speed, which means when we are driving the vehicle and as the speed of the vehicle increases, the value of tractive effort will decrease. Also, this will only be applicable when the engine power is constant. If we are increasing the engine power, then the value of tractive effort will proportionally increase. When the tractive effort is greater than the total resistance on the level road, then only the surplus tractive effort is utilized for the acceleration of the vehicle, or for the gradient climbing, or for pulling an extra load. This surplus or this extra power which is used for vehicle acceleration is known as the power required for acceleration and continuous velocity motion of the vehicle. The traction is the ability of wheels to transmit this tractive effort to the road without slipping, which means when we are applying the tractive effort to the wheels or to the tires, then tires should rotate on the road surface and should go in the forward direction by rotating. It should not skid or slip with the road surface, otherwise the vehicle will lose its stability and it will be harmful for the vehicle performance, and it can even provide an collision. In the figure below, the tractive effort and the vehicle motion has been shown. In that, W is the weight of the vehicle. The tractive effort is the effort given in the direction of the vehicle. The vehicle should move in the forward direction. For that, the vehicle tire should rotate in this direction shown in this figure, which is the clockwise direction. When wheels will rotate in the clockwise direction, the vehicle will go forward into the direction shown by the tractive effort arrow. Next topic is drawbar pull. The drawbar pull is the amount of the horizontal force available to a vehicle at a drawbar for accelerating or pulling a load. In that case, a drawbar pull is nothing but an excess power which is only used to pull the extra load attached to the vehicle. For example, if we take the case of the heavy vehicle or any heavy truck, then the loading part or the loading goods part is considered as an extra load. So to pull that extra load, the tractive effort needs to be increased. So the part of the tractive effort which is used only to pull that extra load or extra weight in on the vehicle, that is known as the drawbar pull. Drawbar pull is the difference between the tractive effort that is available and the tractive effort which is required to overcome the resistance at any specified speed. In the image here, we have shown the formula of the drawbar pull, that is maximum drawbar pull is equal to tractive effort minus total road resistance. That resistance includes all three resistance which we studied in the last lecture, that is air resistance, rolling resistance and gradient resistance if vehicle is going on an uphill direction. The last one of the performance of vehicle topic is the power required for vehicle acceleration and its constant velocity motion. So the performance of vehicle is based on the acceleration or its ability to climb any slope or uphill direction, or its top speed, or the noise that is created by the vehicle, or the fuel economy, which is very important, and last the durability, which means the vehicle's ability to absorb any impact or to bear any loads. The vehicle performance, and for that the power generated in the vehicle will depend on the gearbox provided in the vehicle. The transmission gearbox, which is designed to give the maximum acceleration at the low speed by driving wheel torque output at the point of impeding the wheel's spin, that is the main criteria of the gearbox. In the first gear, the vehicle will generate maximum torque and will provide the minimum speed. If we consider the gear ratio, the first gear has the highest gear ratio in which the torque is maximum and speed is minimum. As we told earlier, that the maximum tractive effort can be generated by using the first gear. First gear in the vehicle should only be used when we are starting the vehicle from the steady condition or from the idle condition. In any other condition, vehicle should not be driven in the first gear, as I have already said that if the tractive effort is maximum for the long time, which means if we are driving the vehicle in the first gear for a very long time, then vehicle engine will overheat and vehicle will not get the speed the driver wants by the acceleration pedal. So that as the vehicle has started, the gear shifting should be from first to the second at that instant. With the changing of the gears, the value of gear ratio decreases and the speed increases. And that speed is maximum in the top gear, which is 4, 5, or 6 depending on the car. Top gear is the maximum gear of the vehicle in which the maximum speed can be obtained, and in that case the torque developed by the vehicle will be minimum. So the next part of the first sector and the third and the last part of the first sector is based on the chassis, frame and body, which considers all the structure and all the components of the vehicle. An automobile considered as four-wheeler or any heavy vehicles will have all the three parts, or we can say two parts from this, which is chassis and body. Frame is not given in all the vehicles, which we'll see in further lectures. First, what is chassis, what is frame, and what is vehicle body? Vehicle body, first, from its name, we can say that outer structure of the vehicle that is known as the vehicle body, which gives the protection to the drivers and passengers from the dust and other air particles from entering into vehicle, and it also provides the comfort to the passenger and drivers. Chassis and frame, these two components are almost considered as the same one in the nowadays of the time. Generally, the frame and chassis were two different things when we were using the frame constructions on the vehicle. Nowadays, the construction of vehicle is used as the frameless construction, or we can also name it as an integral construction, which type of construction is used in most of the small cars, or we can say in economical cars. The difference mainly between the chassis and frame is can be understood by these two figures here, which has been clearly shown. The left figure here shows the frame of the vehicle, and the right figure here shows the chassis of the vehicle. So from that we can say that frame is the main or basic supporting structure of the vehicle on which all the components are mounted and on which all the loads are being bared. So in that case, the frame should be designed in a way that it should not be distort, or it should not deflect, or it should not transfer the loads from the roadside into the driver compartment. It should absorb maximum loads in the frame construction. After mounting all the required components on the chassis, or we can say on the frame, the chassis has been arranged or assembled. In the right figure, we can see that all the main components such as engine, transmission system, which consists gearbox and clutch, propeller shaft, here to universal joints, differential, before that final drive, wheels, tires, axles, and all of that are mounted on the frame, and after which the assembly we get is known as the chassis. That chassis has been given an unique number, which is known as the chassis number, from which the identification of the vehicle can be done if the number plate has been destroyed by any reason. In this figure, we have shown the layout of the vehicle chassis. As I have told earlier, vehicle chassis is one full assembly of the vehicle in which all the main components of the vehicle is arranged without its body. So if we might have seen the auto rickshaw without its body or driving on the road, that is known as the chassis of an auto rickshaw. In here, the top view of the chassis has been shown, and the main components of vehicle chassis has been shown. First, the frame is the member of chassis. Okay, so frame is one component of chassis. Frame and chassis are not the same thing. Frame is one component of the chassis, and on the frame all other components are mounted, which is shown here. First, the radiator for the cooling system, next engine, which is our power generating system or heart of the vehicle. After that, the clutch is mounted. After that, gearbox is mounted. After that, propeller shaft is mounted to transmit the power from the front wheel to the rear wheel, and rear axle has been shown in which differential has been mounted to transmit the power to both the wheels. In last, petrol tank has been shown, which is also a part of an vehicle chassis. Chassis is an assembly which we can drive. The only thing which is not available in chassis is the vehicle body, and the second one is an auxiliary system. Auxiliary system is the electrical system of the vehicle, which is also not a part of chassis, which is only given as an auxiliary system, and it is not a primary system of the vehicle.